Hey guys, Cholera here, bringing you another commentary from my series of Cholera's home games where I show off some wacky, interesting, or poorly played games that I've been in. And this time it's a 2v2 that I and my friend Vilda, a Zerg player from Sweden, play against two other members of SC2G.com, DiabloX and MrBitter. And this time we're playing on a dual Zerg team because both of our main races are Zerg. In fact, the game before I tried playing off-race as a Protoss, so we wouldn't have a mono race team, but we just completely got owned, so I thought I basically had to play my main race, as did she. Here I am, by the way, in orange at the 12. This is Vilda from Sweden, as many of my viewers are. Go Sweden. And she is the Zerg player at the 8 o'clock position on Hannibal. Our opponents are DiabloX, the Terran player at the 6 o'clock, and MrBitter, the Protoss player here at the 2 o'clock. Now, mono race teams are not allowed in StarCraft. Pro games, in the pro leagues at least, because of the power of the dual Zerg team. Basically, a fast dual rush or a fast tech rush is just a bit too imbalanced against other race combinations, I think, and hence they banned it many years ago. MrBitter here looks like he's going for his pylon inside his base. Standard openings, of course, from both the Protoss and the Terran players. Vilda and I had talked about this right in the beginning. I said that I was going to go for go for lurkers, actually, Hydralisks into lurkers, whereas she was going to go for Mutalisks, and both of us had decided for relatively fast pools. She went for a 9 pool, whereas I went for an overpool here. And I'm going to go for my early gas here. I believe I am going to be going for lurkers as fast as I can, so a fast lurker rush. And I'm going to hope my initial Zerglings, along with hers, can hold off any kind of early attack. Meanwhile, interesting enough, MrBitter has decided to go for a Forge first here, so perhaps very scared of being attacked early on by us. He's decided to go for the cannons, but unfortunately this is going to leave his partner DiabloX in a bit of trouble if we decide to attack him, and I think we do decide to attack him very soon. My Overlord's going to spot that MrBitter has gone for the Forge first, which I don't think is a very wise idea in 2v2. I think it's just very hard to save your ally if this is the case, but of course if he can defend himself, he will be able to get tech much faster. Both of these players are very good. I think they're a stronger team than we are, hence our decision to play our main races as Zerg and to go for fast tech rushes. And looks like I'm going to be going for a lair immediately. Meanwhile, Vilda has got her Zerglings out, I believe, and we are both going to attack DiabloX. By the way, DiabloX has beaten me before using pretty much only scouts against my Zerg on the map Plasma, so that gives you a sense of basically how much better he is than me. MrBitter also has played with, well, at least with Vilda a lot, and I think Vilda has mainly been faced with failure in trying to beat him, although recently she's been doing better. Anyway, it looks like Vilda has managed to slip some Zerglings through into MrBitter's base, into DiabloX's base, and now Diablo's forced to pull her Marines and her SCVs to go and attack this force of Zerglings. Looks like the Zerglings are about to go down, but at the same time, my Zerglings are arriving into his base right now. His partner, Bitter, cannot help him at all, unfortunately, but also my Zerglings are getting killed off, so he doesn't have that much to worry about. Looks like his 2 barracks opening here is going to be able to keep him safe for now. And he has managed to take out our initial Zerglings. However, we were allowed to get away with that because of the late gateway of MrBitter. And MrBitter has 2 Zealots moving out now. Meanwhile, I've got my den up and my lair finished, so I'm going to be going for Lurker aspect. And I believe my Zerglings are just, I haven't got many Zerglings wandering around. Vilda has gone for a 2 hatchery build, so instead of going for Mutalisks quickly, she has decided to switch to mass Speedlings here, getting her Speedling upgrade. But unfortunately for me, I actually don't realize that MrBitter has moved out with his Zealots. I have one Hydralist trying to move out and get into position to morph into a Lurker, but now I see 2 Zealots coming into my unprotected base. Unfortunately, I'm not pulling this Hydralisk back, so this Hydralisk is going to get killed, and now my drones are in big trouble here. Looks like I just have one Hydralisk morphing in here, and these Zealots are all in my base. They're about to kill some of my my drones off, so this is a big mistake by me. Meanwhile, Vilda is unable to get up the ramp here for Diablo. Up Diablo's ramp, and I'm forced to use my drones to defend here, losing several drones, I believe, in the process. I think 3 drones have already gone down. 4 drones, oh man, and this is what I meant by my relatively poor play. 5 drones have gotten down, although Lurker aspect, fortunate for me, is about to be finished. So MrBitter with a great counterattack there. He's researching +1, and he's gotten a Citadel of Adun up, so he's going for the fast Templar attack. Interesting enough, though, we're seeing a factory from DiabloX, and I think this actually might be a bit of a mistake. I think with the 2 racks, he should have gone for an academy, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to have the detection to defend against my lurkers, the first of which is already morphing below his ramp right now, and the second of which is morphing inside of my base. Of course, I've been severely hurt due to my lack of, I guess, lack of paying attention, because my overlord should have spotted the Zealots coming in, but due to that, I'm down to just, I think, 6 drones. But meanwhile, I have a lurker pounding away at his ramp, and I thought he went Academy first, in which case, you know, he would be better off fending against this. But I think by the time I saw the factory out, I realized that he actually didn't have an academy, and basically my lurker was going to be able to get up the ramp and do whatever I wanted. Meanwhile, Vilda has finally teched Cholera. She's finally resuming her gas production, and I believe she's going to plant her Spire very quickly. So she stopped her Zergling production, and I've brought my Zerglings forward. I brought my second lurker forward, and right now I'm just building more Hydralisks in my base to get more lurkers. Second gateway going up for MrBitter, and his Templar Archives is finished. But meanwhile, I've got 2 lurkers pounding away at the front door here, and looks like I'm actually going to try to go in. Diablo is trying to micro his Marines so that he can try to take down my lurkers as they're unburrowing, but I think I'm going to decide to start leapfrogging them in as soon as possible, and looks like, yeah, I'm going to burrow this one, just trying to creep in. I think I could be doing a little bit of a better job, to be honest, getting in. And meanwhile, DiabloX is trying to build a science facility so he can get science vessels out. He's also getting up an academy, interesting enough. I think he should have probably just put down the academy or the engineering bay once he saw the lurkers coming, but unfortunately for him, my lurkers are now within the mineral line here, and it's going to stop him mining his gas, of course. My Vilda has decided to run in some Zerglings, and well, actually, I think she could have gotten away with killing off those Marines, but now she's going to kill off these unprotected barracks, or at least force them to lift. There goes the barracks. It's lifted, but barely in time, and that's when it's going to fall. Meanwhile, though, oh, yeah, sorry about this, but I've got Zealots in my base. They have no detection. They're trying to take down my spawning pool, but looks like MrBitter, once again, with a nice little counterattack, and he's been focusing all of his loving attention on me, and I've been basically just, once again, reduced to my drone count. I'm down to just 4 drones right now, but meanwhile, my lurkers have basically crippled DiabloX, and I think there's basically no way for him to stay in this game now. He basically is not going to be able to mine. His buildings are floating, and I believe he actually decides to type out pretty soon afterwards. Although from what you'll see later, the game actually goes quite a bit longer. In any case, though, I wonder if that would have made a difference if he had decided to stay to the end. But he is going to lose his academy. He's going to lose all of his buildings, and certainly does not look too good. Meanwhile, though, MrBitter continued to fight on. He's being a soldier. He's getting High Templar now and morphing into Archons. My base is pretty much... well, actually, I'm trying to recover right now, but like I said, I don't have that many resources. Vilda is doing just fine, though, and she actually has a lot of minerals in the bank. She could probably do well getting an expansion right now, actually, and I think she's going to get her first Mulisks out now. Meanwhile, though, yeah, her first Mulisks have already come out, and they're pounding away at his base. The dead DiabloX's base. DiabloX has just left the game, and I think that was after realizing all of his units were going to go down. So right now, it looks like we have the game sealed, but MrBitter still has a very stubborn defense here. I'm going to speed it up this a little bit so I can keep within 2 video parts. MrBitter trying to foray out, and at this point, I think MrBitter is actually getting pretty much the right unit combination to be able to deal with, and their DiabloX actually leaves the game. He's trying to get the right unit combination and try to break out against my lurkers. He has an observatory out now, and he's going to try to get some observers so he can break out against these 5 lurkers. Meanwhile, the Archons are doing a good job of warding away Vilda. He's sending some Zealots out, though. Then this is a mistake, going and getting killed by those lurkers. Meanwhile, my economy is sort of back on track, although, unfortunately for me, I only have 1 hatchery. I think I should have built at least a 2nd hatchery. I think Vilda could have done well getting a 3rd hatchery at an expansion point. But I think we thought the game was over at this point, but as you'll see, there's a lot of fight left.